Welcome to Module 3. My name is Greg, and in this module, we'll talk about strategies. Strategies in meaning as far as communication. We'll talk about how to make money by keeping your mouth shut. Also, about your story, how you wanted this to align with what you have online. Examples for five-star customer service, driving style, and how to handle difficult situations, as well as something you would not expect to hear from me. So let's dive into it. Um, Communication. All right. Smile. I know I said it before, but it never gets old. We forget, and as long as you will remember and then continue to smile, you'll feel better, and your approach to that's how your brain works. Your approach to the client would be different. And then, of course, if you're tired, you lose the reason to smile or be in a good mood. And so that means take breaks, right? All right. When it comes to communication, your driver or your rider, opens the door. You want to confirm their name, and also people obviously love to hear their name because we want to make sure you're picking up the right person. Sometimes I will just say this. Sometimes you will be asked. The application will ask you to enter a 4-pin number, and some customers have that. Some wanted to have it, and sometimes Uber just requires you to enter that number, so that the customer would need to give you that number. Otherwise, you won't be able to give them a ride, obviously, right? Let them know if they want to adjust, the temperature, or the station, the radio or music you're playing, the volume is acceptable. If they wanted to change it, but play positive music, like possibly no commercials. So what I do, I use Spotify, and it works great. And then also, when you ask these things to your writer, it's something that gives him a sense of control, or they have something to say, or like if they're liking. So it also, like, if it's too hot or too cold in your car, well, they had a room and a chance to say, like, yeah, would you mind, I'm cold, could you, turn the heat up, or whatever the case might be, right? And then one more thing is, don't be afraid to ask, like, hey, there's and I mentioned that earlier. I do offer like water, so I tell them, like, hey, there's some water, help yourself, and they typically, you want them to be impressed, say, like, wow, I don't see that often. And then this is a good start. Okay, once they're all settled, the seatbelts are on, ask them if they're ready to go. And again, it gives them a sense of control, that of course you're the one that is controlling the ride and the situation, but it will make them to feel good, that you have a good contact with the client, with the customer. And it's about the comfort and experience, right? Important. Make sure you have your routine for every customer. Either it's going to be a long ride or a short ride. Have the same thing like going. But then again, don't be afraid to try new things. Even if it's a short ride. When I did it, and when I do it, it's even if it's a few minutes ride, I still offer them water. I still offer them options to adjust the temperature, radio, even though sometimes it's like you don't need to, but it gives them a good sense of, like, feeling and experience. Never ever never talk about politics and religion. And I've heard that before. People will nod their head, and like, you think they're agreeing with you, but once they step out of the car, they won't give you a good rating because it was something that they were completely against, but they just did not want to start argue with you or giving their point of view. So my recommendation, don't do it. Also, icebreaker, small talk. Ask them like, hey, so how's your day going? But then again, make sure to leave them room to talk. It's more like have them to start talking, and then you are listening. You don't want to talking all the time. All right.